This boy was drugged by two sleazy men and taken to a private room in a bar. Due to the drugs, his face was unusually flushed, looking enchantingly seductive. Half asleep. The boy heard the voices of two middle-aged men. "Poor young master, let us take good care of you." Suddenly, one of the men took out his phone and aimed it at the boy. "Assistant Director Liu, hold on. Let me take a couple of photos to capture this rare look of our national first love, just in case he makes a fuss when he wakes up." The other man also laughed and chimed in, "Director Chen is always so thoughtful." At this moment, the boy, now awake, saw the unfamiliar surroundings and realized he had been directly thrown into this mission without any warning from the system. He saw two sleazy middle-aged men eyeing him like hungry wolves, beginning to undress. Fighting back nausea, the boy sat up and gauged the distance between him and the two men. Then, the man walking in front kicked him squarely, sending him flying. The other man, standing aside, thought the boy had gone mad. Already a down-and-out actor, he still dared to jeopardize his own livelihood. But before he could finish his sentence, he too was kicked away. Then, the boy used a spell to forcefully kneel them down and took several photos. Thinking it was not enough, he released two divine powers to grasp their necks, forcing them to face each other closely. He took several more photos of the two men who loathed each other, carefully finding the best angles. Looking at the photos on his phone, the boy smiled sweetly, marveling at his excellent photography skills. "You two are really photogenic. I am already looking forward to tomorrow's entertainment headlines." Then, the boy smiled at the two men, who looked terrified, and snapped his fingers. With a crack, both men's necks snapped, and they fainted. After dealing with them, the boy walked out of the private room satisfied. Instantly, the noisy music of the bar pierced his eardrums. To be precise, it was a gay bar, as the hall was filled with various pretty young men. Seeing this, the boy slightly curled his lips. "So many handsome men. System, you really picked a good place." The system, knowing it had brought the boy here hastily, only dared to appear after hearing his words, whispering, "Hee, my lord, as long as you are happy." The reason the system was so scared was that the boy was actually the #1 prisoner of the heavenly realm, Si Jin. 500 years ago, not wanting to work, he single-handedly assassinated his leader, the former heavenly lord, and was imprisoned for 500 years. He had only recently been given the chance to reduce his sentence by taking on missions in different realms. As for why such a minor system was sent to supervise Si Jin, it is simply because it lost a game. All the systems are afraid of him. One snap of his fingers could paralyze them. Although the system is scared, it bravely speaks up. "Sir, your task is to complete the designated storyline using the original identity. Shall we begin accepting the original's memories now?" With Si Jin's consent, the system starts uploading memories. The original is Bai Si Jin, the only son of the wealthiest family in the capital, the Bai family. A top student at the Capital Film Academy, he was already popular before graduation. Known for his sweet smile, fans called him the nation's first love. However, after his father's death, he was kicked out by his stepmother who seized all the family assets. Even his agent betrayed him, sending him to these two directors. Though the original fought hard, injuring the directors and escaping the bar, they took indecent photos and spread them widely. Unable to earn money, his boyfriend cheated on him. His image collapsed, he was blacklisted and homeless. He eventually starved to death on a cold night. Now, sir, you have been sent to the point where the original was taken to the bar. After hearing these past events, Si Jin unconsciously exudes a bit of killing intent and coldly says, "Seems like this biological father was not a good person either. The illegitimate child is older than the legitimate one, and he did not leave any inheritance to the original." The system, seeing Si Jin's murderous aura, trembles and asks, "Sir, this storyline was carefully arranged by the warden of the celestial prison. You can only reduce your sentence by traveling through 3,000 dimensions and experiencing human suffering. In truth, the system thinks, if you rebel, it is fine, but my little life would be over." Fortunately, Si Jin merely swirled the wine in his glass and did not refuse the task. Instead, expressing a strong desire to play with these people, the boy had just crossed over and was drugged unconscious in a private room at the bar. Yet he was extremely happy because he had arrived at a bar where only boys could enter and immediately spotted a handsome uncle in a suit among the crowd. Si Jin saw him sitting alone in a booth quietly drinking, and his face lit up with joy. He immediately approached the man and said, "Uncle, are you here alone? May I have the honor of buying you a drink?" Seeing Si Jin's charming demeanor yet innocent appearance, the man was moved. He picked up his drink, clinked glasses with Si Jin, and said, "The honor is mine." The little system was anxious. "Sir, what are you doing? This man is not in the script, you would better not provoke others." But Si Jin, while obediently looking at the man, replied to the system with his mind. Didn't I get drugged? I need to find someone to be the antidote. Watching the man's Adam's apple move as he drank, Si-jin thought, this uncle is indeed a sexy creature. Those young and pretty ones just do not have the allure of a refined rogue uncle. Backquote, backquote, backquote. In no time, the glass of wine was finished. Si-jin clapped his hands obsequiously. Uncle, you have a great tolerance. Is this your first time here? The man smiled at Si-jin and responded with a soft hum. Then Si-jin pretended to be aggrieved and waved his hand. What a coincidence. It is my first time too, but I was tricked into coming here and drugged. The man raised the corner of his mouth after hearing this. Our experiences are quite similar. I am waiting for a friend here too. Unfortunately, it seems I have been drugged as well. Si-jin showed a worried expression. Really, that is great. I will go get some antidote for you right away. He stood up and was about to leave, but the man reached out and grabbed Si-jin's wrist, pulling him into his embrace. Are you not concerned about your dignity, going to buy an antidote as a grown man? With his plan succeeding, Si-jin leaned into the man's arms and casually placed his hand around the man's neck. He whispered softly in the man's ear, I am just thinking about you. Uncle, after all, it is even more embarrassing for two grown men to buy an antidote together, is not it? The man felt Si-jin's temptation to the extreme. He leaned closer to Si-jin's ear. Perhaps we do not need to buy an antidote. Let us go to a private room, and I will be your antidote. Si-jin was also struck by the man's deep, magnetic voice, making his scalp tingle. He traced circles on the man's chest with his fingers. I will do whatever uncle says. After receiving Si-jin's affirmation, the man gently kissed the hand on his chest and then led Si-jin out of the bar to a nearby hotel. As soon as the door closed, the man eagerly threw off his jacket and pinned Si-jin against the wall. His passionate kisses landed on Si-jin's shoulder. Not to be outdone, Si-jin pushed off with his foot, reversing their positions, and pinned the man down. He hooked his arm around the man's neck and said, the night is long, uncle. Don't be in such a hurry. Then he pulled the man's tie and tossed him onto the bed behind them. The man, adhering to the principle of sleeping where he fell, raised his hands in a gesture of surrender. Si-jin looked at the obedient man in front of him and said excitedly. The man gently said to Si-jin, you are my first too. His heart could not help but pound wildly. The man showed a sly, fox-like expression as he looked at Si-jin. He felt a familiar sense when he saw him, and his heart inexplicably fluttered. Si-jin looked at the man's particularly serious expression, and his heart could not help but skip a beat. He had not felt this way in 500 years. Could it be love at first sight? He then lowered his head and kissed the man's lips. His voice filled with tenderness. Don't worry, uncle. I will be very gentle. But in the next second, Luo Linyuan turned over and pinned Si-jin under him. He took off his glasses and smiled at Si-jin, saying, I think this position suits me better. Si-jin was stunned at that moment and immediately struggled to push Luo Linyuan away, getting out of bed. Then, looking regretfully at Luo Linyuan, he said, Uncle, we have a conflict. Let us stop here for today. I am going to find someone else. Luo Linyuan, with a hint of anger, asked, where are you going? After provoking me, you still want to find someone else. Si-jin just turned his head and shrugged irresponsibly, Uncle, I like you too. But I can't cure your poison, so we naturally have to part ways. You can't force me. Can you? But Luo Linyuan did not want to let this opportunity slip away, so he smiled and said to Si-jin, I have no intention of forcing you. Since we have a conflict, I know someone good I can introduce to you. Save you the trouble of looking. Si-jin turned to meet Luo Linyuan's eyes, trying to see if he was lying from his expression. Are you serious? But foxes are naturally cunning, and Luo Linyuan put on a serious face. Of course, it is true. Why do not you sit down and have a drink with me while we wait? After returning to the bar, Luo Linyuan claimed he could mix drinks, so he made several high-alcohol cocktails that tasted like regular drinks for Si-jin. Luo Linyuan held back his laughter, watching Si-jin drink them like regular beverages, his face full of affection. I have to say, Luo Linyuan was really good at mixing drinks. Si-jin drank several glasses without feeling tipsy and even praised them as delicious. Luo Linyuan, hearing this, followed up, if it is good, have another one. Under Luo Linyuan's coaxing, the table soon filled with empty glasses. Si-jin, already drunk, finally remembered to ask, why has not the person you mentioned arrived yet? Luo Linyuan looked at the adorable boy in front of him and leaned in close with a smile. He is here. He is far away yet right in front of you. Before Si-jin could react, Luo Linyuan picked him up horizontally. The drunk Si-jin had little strength to resist Luo Linyuan. After a few struggles, he was thrown onto a large 200 square meter bed, letting out a soft hum. Luo Linyuan then leaned down to pin Si Jin, gently cupping his face and repeating Si Jin's earlier words, "Don't worry, I will be very gentle." Immediately, a flurry of kisses fell on Si Jin, and the atmosphere in the room gradually became ambiguous. Not knowing how long he slept, the exhausted Tong Jin finally woke up under the warm sunlight, but Luo Linyuan was already gone. Looking at the unfamiliar surroundings, Si Jin sat up abruptly, feeling a headache, backache, and pain all over. Fragments of last night's drunkenness flooded his mind. And Tong Jin cursed angrily. That cunning old fox, not only did he sleep with me, but he also disappeared after taking advantage. He hurriedly checked himself, finding many bruises but otherwise clean, clearly having been tidied up. It seems that old fox still has some conscience. With the matter at hand, Si Jin decided not to dwell on it. He picked up his phone to check the trending comments he missed last night, only to find 2 unread messages from Luo Linyuan. It turned out he saved each other's numbers while Si Jin was asleep. Just as Si Jin was reading the messages, the hotel room's doorbell rang suddenly. The young man had flirted with a handsome uncle in a suit. Unexpectedly, he was taken advantage of and left in the hotel. The next morning, Si woke up to find 2 unread messages on his phone, and the sender was Luo Linyuan. It turned out he saved each other's numbers while the aloof one was asleep. Just as Si Jin finished reading the messages, the hotel room's doorbell rang. A waiter entered with breakfast and a bouquet, emphasizing that Mr. Luo had ordered them to apologize for leaving. Without a word, Si Jin held the roses given by the waiter in a daze, feeling like an ignorant girl who had a wild night with a domineering CEO. He then endured the soreness all over his body and kicked the flowers out of the room, almost hitting the waiter in the face. Then he picked up his phone and blocked Luo Linyuan. Fine, old fox, you want to play this trick on me, huh, waiting for me to contact you, in your next life. If I see you again and do not kill you, I will take your surname. Then Si Jin leaned against the headboard for a while, remembering she had important business to attend to. So she unlocked the system's restriction and asked what special features it had. But it was just a low-level system with only one function, blocking pain. Si Jin snapped her fingers happily after hearing this. This function is great. Quickly block my pain. I need to go to the set to terminate my contract today. But just as she was about to leave, Si Jin remembered that her clothes were all wrinkled from last night and could not be worn. Holding onto a glimmer of hope, she opened her wardrobe and found her clothes neatly ironed and hung up. She burst out laughing. I did not expect this old fox to be such a good housewife. After changing her clothes, Si Jin took a cab to the company. Director Chen thought that the lead role in this drama was secured by Si Jin's agent using all their resources. If she left, there would be plenty of others fighting for it. If she dared to terminate the contract, she would be in for a rude awakening. So he put on a kingly demeanor and threw a stack of contracts on the table. By Si Jin, we believe you do not possess the basic qualities of an actor. We are terminating your contract. And the lead role in this drama will be recast. But Si Jin just smiled instead of getting angry. Alright. Then according to the contract we signed, you owe me 46 million in breach of contract fees. Director Chen's face turned green upon hearing this. He slammed the table and stood up abruptly. By Si Jin, are you out of your mind? You breached the contract first by spreading rumors about me and Deputy Director Liu, and you still want compensation. But Si Jin just smiled and asked him back, do you have any evidence? There were no cameras in the private room at the bar. Your news was published by the Entertainment Daily. It has nothing to do with me. At this point, Director Chen was so angry that he started pounding the table. At this moment, Director Chen was so angry that he slammed the table. You are exploiting legal loopholes. After hearing this, Si Jin innocently blinked and responded. Director Chen, we still need evidence when we speak. Otherwise, I could sue you for defamation. Although I no longer have the support of my family, my savings over the years are enough to hire a good lawyer. You might end up not only embarrassed but also losing more. Director Chen incredulously sized up the young man before him, feeling that he had changed since yesterday. He spoke logically, acted boldly and crazily, and left himself no chance to retaliate. Si Jin felt there was no need to waste words with them anymore, so he turned around and left. You can fire me and deduct compensation on your own. Just wait for the court summons. At this moment, Assistant Director Liu, seeing that it was impossible to overpower Si Jin, knew they could not let this issue leak no matter what, so he tried to mediate. Let us talk this out, no need to rush to court. If you leave, Director Chen and I will really miss you. Si Jin glanced coldly at Assistant Director Liu. That is not what you just said. Are you planning to let me go now? Yet, Assistant Director Chen still failed to read the room, patted Si Jin on the shoulder, and said condescendingly, of course we are letting you go. After all, we have worked together for so long. We will forgive you this time. Before assistant director Chen could finish, Si Jin disdainfully slapped his hand away. But just because you decide to let me go does not mean I will let you go. The two directors lured this washed-up star to a bar and drugged him, not realizing he had been possessed by the most powerful deity in the world. Consequently, not only did they get a thorough beating, but they also had their photos taken and posted on trending searches. Later, they forced Si Jin to terminate his contract with the company, trying to ruin him because this drama was secured by his agent using all their resources, betting that Si Jin would not dare to give it up. However, upon hearing this, Si Jin laughed instead of getting angry. Fine, just compensate me the 46 million yuan for breach of contract as originally agreed. If you dare to deduct it privately, then wait for the court summons. Seeing that Si Jin was unyielding, assistant director Chen became so anxious that he blurted out, "Nonsense, Si Jin, what exactly do you want? Do you want us, two top directors, to kneel down and beg you?" At this moment, Director Liu hurriedly intervened. "What are you saying? Si Jin is so kind, he would never do that." But before Director Liu could finish, Si Jin interrupted him. "Sure, if you kneel and beg, I won't sue. Choose between kneeling down or ruining your reputation." Just as the standoff between the two sides was at an impasse, a young man pushed the door open and walked in. "Director Chen, you called my agent yesterday and asked me to be the new male lead. I am here to audition today." At this moment, the system immediately approached Si Jin's ear to relay information. This is the original owner's rival, Su Mingjia, but he got involved with the original owner's brother a month ago. The brother provided him with a lot of resources, so now his fame has surpassed the original owner. Moreover, the director called him yesterday to be the new male lead. Si Jin immediately understood. So these two directors are acting weak here, actually to stabilize themselves, fearing that they would ruin their plans, but in fact, they had already found a replacement. Thus, Si Jin came up with a plan and politely stepped forward to greet Su Mingjia with a handshake. However, Su Mingjia turned his eyes away disdainfully and said, "I do not know why an actor who is not wanted by the director still stays in the crew. Do you think crying will make you the male lead again?" Seeing Si Jin finally at a disadvantage, Director Chen was overjoyed and immediately came forward to flatter Su Mingjia. "Oh Mingjia, we are all family, why even talk about auditioning? I just encountered a little trouble. Firing Bai Sijin would cost me 46 million, which I can't bear, so I am here discussing with him." Hearing this, Su Mingjia disdainfully took out a black gold card from his bag. It seems that after Bai Xiao was kicked out of his house, he has become more petty. "Here is 50 million. Take it and do not embarrass yourself by staying in the crew." Si Jin thought that the two stingy directors could not come up with the money, so he took the card from his hand and smiled. "Thank you, sister-in-law." Hearing the title sister-in-law, Su Mingji's face immediately darkened. "Bai Sijin, what nonsense are you spouting?" Si Jin unapologetically explained seriously. "My brother already has a wife and children. Aren't you the second wife since you were with my brother now? If not, sister-in-law, what should I call you?" Su Mingjia did not expect Si Jin to know these shameful secrets and was so angry that he trembled all over. In a fit of rage, he swung a punch at Si Jin, but before his fist could reach, Si Jin firmly grabbed it and gently twisted it, causing his wrist to crack twice. Tears welled up in Su Mingji's eyes as he said, "Si Jin, you hurt me. Didn't you hear me asking you to let go?" Si Jin looked at the person in front of him and sneered inwardly. Oh, this delicate and pitiful look. No wonder the original owner's lecherous brother was moved. But the more pitiful he is, the more I want to bully him. What should I do? So, as Su Mingjia struggled forward, Si Jin suddenly let go, then grabbed his collar and pulled him back, gently straightening his messy clothes, his eyes full of amusement. "Mingjia, you are also good looking. Why did you fall for my brother? Do you like him because he can't marry you, because he has kids, or because he is bad in bed? If it is the last one, you should try me. I am young and strong, and I guarantee I will outdo my brother by a mile." The boy had just entered the house when he heard disgusting sounds coming from the room. Inside was his boyfriend, and Chao Shuang, who clearly did not like men, had been lying to him all along. And now, he even dared to bring the woman he was keeping outside back to his own home. Thinking of this, Si Jin kicked open the door. The two people inside were startled by the sudden noise. But when they saw it was Si Jin, Chao Shuang panicked. He quickly grabbed the blanket to cover the woman. Jin, why are you back? Didn't you say you would not be able to return for half a month because of your schedule?" Si Jin looked at him coldly and said, "So you think you can do this in my house without any consequences?" Seeing this situation, Chao Shuang's heart jumped to his throat, but he still put on a pitiful expression. Jin, let me explain. She seduced me first. The one I truly love is you. And it is because you often do not come home that I got so lonely in this big house. But I swear, I will never be foolish again. Please forgive me this time, okay? After saying this, Chao Shuang looked at Si Jin seriously. He knew Bai Si Jin loved him deeply, even to the point of breaking ties with the Bai family. Without him, she could not live. As long as he acted pitiful, Bai Si Jin would definitely forgive him like a fool and even reflect on herself. But as Si Jin looked at this freeloader, she wondered where he got the confidence to think she would forgive him. Just as Chao Shuang was waiting for Si Jin to regretfully forgive him, Si Jin gathered her strength and kicked him in the chest. Chao Shuang's body was thrown back, crashing through the bedroom window. The shattered glass fell like snow, cutting into his body. He did not understand why Si Jin had become like this, but he could not bear to give up this ATM. So he unwillingly asked Si Jin, Jin, what is wrong, don't you recognize me? I am your boyfriend, Chao Shuang. Si Jin's face darkened even more upon hearing this, and she stepped forward to coldly order him, get out of my house. This left Chao Shuang even more bewildered, so he struggled to get up from the ground, enduring the pain to continue flattering. Jin, did something upset you? Did someone bully you outside? Come here and let your husband hug you. Seeing this scumbag's hand about to touch her, Si Jin unhesitatingly kicked him again. You are dirty. Why should I keep you? Get out. Until Chao Shuang was certain that Si Jin was determined to drive him away, he finally dropped the pretense, glaring at Si Jin with resentment. By Si Jin, do not forget who was crying and begging to be with me back then. Now even your family does not recognize you. What do you have left after dumping me? You only have me. Mentioning his family only made Si Jin angrier. The original host was always under his mental control, deceived into thinking she had nothing without him, which is why she fell apart after discovering his infidelity. But the reality was that Chao Shuang was a pawn placed by the original host's brother to stir up trouble between her and her family, aiming to seize her inheritance. So Si Jin flexed her wrist as she approached Chao Shuang, then lifted him by the back of his collar like a chicken. Breaking with my family and whether I want to support a useless person are two different things. There are countless men in the world. Why should I support you, even if I leave my family? You are not someone to waste like you can aspire to. After saying this, she punched him twice more, then threw the freeloader out through the broken window. Only after hearing a dull thud did she return to the room satisfied, a smile of fulfilled murderous intent appearing in her eyes. At this moment, the woman Chao Shuang brought back had already dressed and come out. Despite witnessing Si Jin beating Chao Shuang, she did not hurry to leave. Seeing Si Jin was the real patron behind Chao Shuang, she immediately smiled and approached. Jin, sponsor me. I was deceived by that scumbag Chao Shuang before. From now on, I will only be with you. Si Jin looked up at the woman in front of her. She was indeed quite pretty, so she smiled and replied, all right. Don't be fooled by this woman looking like a sweet potato. She was actually a bedmate of many popular young actresses. That day, Si Jin had just finished beating up her cheating ex-boyfriend and the woman he brought back, thus restoring peace to her home. So Si Jin planned to relax and then cook a meal. At this moment, her phone rang beside her. The caller ID showed it was her agent, Sister Ma. But as soon as Si Jin put the phone to her ear, she heard a lion's roar from the other side. By Si Jin, why did you leave Director Chen's crew? Do you know how much effort I put into getting you in there? I have never seen an artist as troublesome as you. I want to terminate your contract. Backquote. Si Chao disdainfully held the phone away, rubbed his ear, and calmly replied, okay, then let us terminate. On the other end, Sister Ma was silent for a moment after hearing this response, uncertainly looking at her phone again. It was indeed Bai Si Jin on the call. Did he take the wrong medicine today? Previously, when I threatened him with termination, he would always come begging to me. What is going on today? While Sister Ma was doubting herself, Si Jin on the other end spoke again. Sister Ma, you should be off work now, right? How about I come to the company tomorrow morning to sign the termination contract? Sister Ma was so angry she slammed the table and stood up. By Si Jin, do you really want to terminate the contract with me? You better think it through. Many award-winning actors and actresses treat me with respect. If I decide to blacklist you, you will have no place in the entertainment industry. Si Jin was already too tired to argue further. After a long silence, he replied indifferently, is that so? But Si Jin's silence and calm tone had a different meaning to Sister Ma. She thought her threat had worked and Bai Tong Jin must be regretting it. After all, she had coveted him for so long, there was no way she would let him go so easily. So she switched to a softer tone. Jin, I am not that unreasonable. If you do not want to stay with that crew, that is fine. But I will continue to support you. As long as you are willing to be my boyfriend. Meanwhile, Si Jin, who had been focused on cooking, had just put down the dish when he heard such outrageous words. To protect his ears, he quickly interrupted her. No need to say more, Sister Ma. I understand the reasoning. I am actually not against unwritten rules. Sister Ma was delighted to hear this, thinking there was hope. But the next second, Si Jin coldly said, "But I am not interested in you." This was extremely hurtful and insulting to Sister Ma. Holding the phone, her face turned as dark as a burnt sweet potato. She then angrily cursed into the phone, "By Si Jin. Do you know how many young men are eager to climb into my bed, and I do not care for them, you actually." But before Sister Ma could finish, Si Jin hung up the phone and carried the finished dish into the dining room. Sister Ma, with nowhere to vent her anger, smashed her own restraint. Meanwhile, Si Jin was cutting steak and asked, "Xiao Yao, how was the original plot arranged?" Xiao Yao flipped through the system data and replied, "The original plot was you humbly begging Sister Ma. Then Sister Ma proposed to date you. You disagreed, but Chao Shuang feared you could not earn enough money to support him, so he forced you to be with Sister Ma. From then on, your mental state was extremely poor, and you could not feel anything while acting, resulting in losing a lot of money for the agency. And Chao Shuang left you because you had no money, leading you to start begging in a daze until you froze to death on a cold night." After swallowing a piece of beef, Si Jin laughed and said, "Your sheriff is truly talented. It is a pity he does not write novels." Xiao Yao murmured softly, "My lord. The plot the sheriff arranged for you is much worse than for other prisoners because he hates that you did not follow the script and hack the main system." Si Jin raised an eyebrow and said, faintly, "So there is such a reason." After hearing this, Xiao Yao had a bad feeling, thinking that Si Jin was going to cause trouble again. So, trembling, he hugged himself tightly because as a small fry, he could not afford to offend either side. Then, Si Jin raised his hand to cast a spell and directly broke through the system to monitor the situation in the celestial prison. But the next day, Si Jin appeared in the company on time and took out a termination contract in front of Sister Ma. Sister Ma snatched the contract from Si Jin's hands, thinking to herself that with Si Jin's useless demeanor, he had never dealt with anything beyond acting in all these years. If he dared to terminate the contract, she would not be blamed for being ruthless. However, Sister Ma was shocked when she saw the contract. The terms were flawless. She did not even know when Si Jin had studied law. Seeing Sister Ma staring at the contract without speaking, Si Jin urged, "Sister Ma, is there any problem with the contract? If not, please sign it quickly." Being rushed made Sister Ma even angrier. "Si Jin, you have grown capable now. Daring to oppose me." After hearing this, Si Jin could not help but roll her eyes. She really thought too highly of herself. It is just a termination contract, no need for such a big reaction. After finishing speaking, she took out another contract from her bag. "By the way, Sister Ma, this one details how you tricked me into signing a dual contract and embezzled my 480 million in fees. Thinking that you still rely on your reputation to make a living, I decided to be merciful and not sue you. If you sign these two contracts, you will compensate me 550 million. Principal and interest included. Pay me 550 million with interest, and we will settle this privately. How about that?" At this moment, Sister Ma was grinding her molars. She did not expect Tong Jin to come prepared today. Usually, he acts as if he does not care about worldly matters, but it turns out he had a backup plan all along. Then Sister Ma had an idea. She clenched her fist and smashed it onto the glass office desk. Instantly, her hand was covered in blood from the glass shards. She then grabbed Tong Jin's collar and said sinisterly, "Tong Jin, stop dreaming. Now I am injured, and there are no cameras here. I want you to retract your compensation contract immediately, or I will shout to the public that you attacked me. There are reporters outside. You know how much intentional injury can affect an actor. Even if you do not go to jail, your career will be ruined." Hearing her threat, Tong Jin's face still maintained a perfect smile. "Did Sister Ma just say I intentionally hurt you?" Then he grabbed Sister Ma's wrist, which was clutching his collar, and threw her onto the office desk. Sister Ma hit the corner of the desk and immediately started bleeding from her head. Seeing that Tong Jin was serious, she became scared and screamed loudly, "You are crazy, is anyone out there? Help." Tong Jin looked at the woman who was flaunting her power 1 second and screaming the next, and chuckled lightly. "I know you well. Whether I retract the contract or not, you will call people to falsely accuse me of intentional injury. Since you are going to shout anyway, it seems a bit unfair to myself if I do not hurt you a bit." After saying that, he pulled Sister Ma off the desk and threw her hard onto the ground. Then he sat on the sofa nearby, took out his phone, and started editing the video of Sister Ma threatening Tong Jin, which was shot by Xiao Yao. Sister Ma, who was dizzy from the fall, curled up in the corner of the desk, trembling in pain, and hoarsely shouted, "Bai Tong Jin hit me, is there anyone to help?" Hearing the commotion inside, employees and reporters rushed in. The nation's first love, Bai Tong-jin, had a physical altercation with his manager over an economic dispute. This content was definitely newsworthy, so they started taking photos and videos frantically. Seeing people coming in, Sister Ma gained some confidence and started crying heart-wrenchingly, "Come and see, the nation's first love that everyone likes, what kind of person he really is." Just because he unilaterally terminated the contract with the crew, I said a few words to him, and he beat me like this. Hearing Sister Ma's lament, the employees showed disbelief. It turns out that a star's image is all screen packaging. They do not act like humans in private. I came to this company only because Bai Tong-jin was here. But Si-jin continued to operate her phone as if no one else was around, completely ignoring the curses from those around her. She did not plan to explain anything. One-eyed Sister Ma saw that the current public opinion was turning against Si-jin, so she flashed a smug smile from an angle where others could not see. "By Si-jin. You dare to fight with me, just wait to be buried deep in the ground." Suddenly, a ding sounded in the room, and everyone present received a message. It was then that Si-jin slowly spoke, "Before you curse me, why do not you all take a look at the video on your phones?" After watching the video, the crowd erupted in sharp exclamations. The truth was that Si-jin was calmly negotiating with Sister Ma, with reason and evidence, while Sister Ma was the one threatening Bai Tong-jin by grabbing his collar. Sister Ma's face instantly turned as red as a roasted sweet potato when she saw this. She quickly turned to Si-jin, "There are no cameras here, yet you recorded everything." Si-jin shook the phone in her hand. "How else could I prove my innocence without recording?" Then Si-jin approached Sister Ma from above. "I only sent the video to everyone in the company. You can still suppress it now. You would better obediently sign those 2 contracts. If you do not, I will expose it to the paparazzi, and then the whole industry will know about your misdeeds." Sister Ma, caught by her weakness, lost her previous arrogance and finally broke down, immediately signing the contracts and respectfully handing them to Si-jin. Seeing Si-jin escape the storm of public opinion and terminate the contract with Sister Ma, the people around him immediately surrounded Si-jin, vying to be his agent. But Si-jin looked at the group of men fighting for him and felt troubled. "My damn charm really works on both men and women. But why would a handsome guy like me be suppressed by others?" Unable to figure out this question, Tong-jin shook his head in resignation and then left the crowd. "Since my matter is resolved, I won't disturb you all anymore." Having resolved another troublesome issue, Si-jin immediately decided to rest and adjust. His next target was to bring down Bai Si-chen's company. Before long, Si-jin drove to the entrance of the gay bar where he was drugged when he first arrived in this dimension. Xiao Mo was stunned to see the car parked at the bar's entrance. "Sir, did not you say you were going to bring down Bai Si-chen? This is not the way to his place." But Si-jin got out of the car with a smile. "No rush. After dealing with the agent issue, I should relax a bit. Besides, you have to get back up from where you fell. Today, I must be the one on top, not the bottom, even if it is unavoidable." Si-jin is clearly a tall and handsome guy standing at 1.8 meters, but on his first visit to a bar, he was unexpectedly overpowered by a cunning older man. Unwilling to accept defeat, he decided to explore the gay bar again. As the saying goes, you have to get back up where you fell. This time, he was determined to come out on top. With this thought, Si-jin confidently walked into the bar and started looking for a target. He could not believe he would not find an inexperienced bottom here today. Not long after he entered the bar, a student like Bottom set his sights on him. Seeing Si-jin's tall stature and stylish appearance, the Bottom approached him to drink together. After being coaxed into drinking several rounds, Si-jin was a bit drunk. The Bottom took the opportunity to suggest taking Si-jin to a private room. But before they could take a few steps, a deep male voice from behind stopped them. "Let him go." Si-jin and the Bottom turned around simultaneously to see Luo Linyuan standing behind them. This time, he was wearing a silver-white suit paired with gold-rimmed glasses, exuding a predatory elegance. But the Bottom, looking troubled, said, "Brother, I know I am popular, but I need to take this guy to the private room first. If you really like me, let us meet tomorrow." Seeing the Bottom's confidence, Luo Linyuan was speechless for a moment. He then pulled the drunken Si-jin into his arms. "I said, let him go. How dare you touch my man? Are you tired of living?" The Bottom was stunned. Weren't these two just bumping into each other? What kind of act was this? But he awkwardly smiled and said, "Don't be angry. Brother, I will leave now." Just as the Bottom was about to turn and leave, the drunken Si-jin in Luo Linyuan's arms called out to him, "Stop. You just took the opportunity to steal my wallet. I was planning to beat you up in the private room, but if you were smart, you will return the wallet to me now." The Bottom froze upon hearing this and then bolted. But he did not know that Si Jin was a natural god with immense strength. With a few strides, he caught up and subdued the bottom with a standard hold. He then turned to Luo Linyuan and told him to call the police. After the police left, Si Jin glanced at Luo Linyuan beside him, a hint of killing intent in his eyes. Luo Fox, after what you did to me last time, you still dare to come find me? Are you tired of living and looking for death? But Luo Linyuan just smiled slyly, his eyes full of cunning. No, I am here to watch your takedown performance. Si Jin looked at him and chuckled. Oh, really, was it good? Immediately, Luo Linyuan put on a sincere face. You always bring me surprises. I really want to keep you more and more. After hearing this, Si Jin stepped forward, hooked Luo Linyuan's tie, and pulled it hard. What, you want to keep me as your husband? Now I give you two choices, one is death, the other is to let me be your husband. But Luo Linyuan was not afraid of Si Jin at all, even finding the hot-tempered Si Jin more interesting. So he gently held his wrist, looked into his eyes, and said, maybe you could try playing the role of a wife. Hearing this, Si Jin immediately pushed Luo Linyuan away discontentedly. Uncle Luo, it is tiring being older. I am 23 this year and you are already 30. Isn't it nice to just lie down and enjoy your middle age? Then Luo Linyuan whispered in Si Jin's ear, I would like that too, but I just can't bear to see the kids struggle. And Si Jin, to avenge his previous humiliation, also made his move. He rubbed Luo Linyuan's neck. It is not hard. Just come home with me and I promise you will be satisfied, and you won't look at anyone else but me for the rest of your life. After a moment of silence, Luo Linyuan agreed. He seemed reluctant on the surface but was actually full of anticipation. So he suggested driving himself. Seeing Luo Linyuan compromise, Si Jin happily took his hand and headed to the parking lot, but he did not see the affectionate yet cunning look on Luo Linyuan's face behind him. Once in the car, Si Jin, feeling tipsy, opened the GPS on his phone, entered his home address, and handed it to Luo Linyuan. Uncle, this is my home address. I am drunk and want to sleep for a while. Wake me up when we get there. So Luo Linyuan affectionately ruffled Si Jin's hair and responded with okay. 20 minutes later, the car stopped in front of a grand European-style villa, and the halt of the car also woke Si Jin up. He opened his eyes to see a strange place and his expression immediately darkened. Uncle, this is not my home. But Luo Linyuan just smiled apologetically, sorry. Your phone accidentally locked, and I could not unlock it, so I could only bring you to my place. After saying this, he tried to touch Si Jin's head but was slapped away by Si Jin, who then ruthlessly exposed his scheme. Uncle, you knew how to unlock my phone with my fingerprint when you saved your number last time, but now you do not. Yet Luo Linyuan slapped his thigh and showed a cunning smile. Ah, with a beauty by my side, I got nervous and forgot. Si Jin did not bother listening to his nonsense. Crossed his arms, turned his back to Luo Linyuan, and said, I am not getting out. This is not my home. Unless you take me back. Luo Linyuan was momentarily speechless. This kid seems upset. How should I comfort him? After thinking for a while, he sighed helplessly and leaned close to Si Jin's ear, whispering, Honey Tilda, I have driven the car here, so just get on. Don't make this old uncle's arms and legs suffer. Hearing Luo Linyuan's words, Si Jin's eyes lit up instantly. What did you just call me? Luo Linyuan cleared his throat and said again, Honey Tilda. Si Jin was immediately tickled by Luo Linyuan's gentle and melodious tone, feeling suddenly cheerful. Uncle, you took the initiative, so do not regret it. After speaking, he opened the door and got out of the car, quickly walking to Luo Linyuan's side. Then, he gentlemanly opened the car door for him, and without waiting for Luo Linyuan to get out, he lifted him horizontally. Although it was a bit strenuous to lift the 190-plus Luo Linyuan, Si Jin did not care about anything now. Even if he could not manage today, he would still try. So Si Jin secretly used some divine power, and with a burst of energy, carried Luo Linyuan to the bedroom on the second floor, directly dropping him onto the bed. Then he leaned down, pinning Luo Linyuan, and looked at him with shining eyes, saying, Baby, let us start. Luo Linyuan, however, just looked at him indulgently with a smile. Jin, you drank so much earlier, are not you tired from carrying me upstairs? Si Jin shook his head. I am not tired, let us continue. Saying this, he started to pull off his tie and unbutton his shirt. Just as Si Jin's eyes were shining, ready to pounce like a wolf, Luo Linyuan sat up, looking pitiful. But Jin, I have not eaten yet. Would you like to eat with me? I will cook for you. Si Jin looked at Luo Linyuan suspiciously, cautiously stepping back 2 steps. I can, but you can't trick me into drinking again. At this point, Luo Linyuan stood up and patted Si Jin's shoulder. No problem, I promise you. Yet the smile on his face seemed to suggest he had ulterior motives. But as it turns out, even beauties can't be stared at for too long. It leads to visual fatigue. Even the fish on the cutting board started to look handsome. So Si Jin greeted Luo Linyuan, got his approval, and began to explore his house. After wandering through several rooms, Si Jin ended up in Luo Linyuan's study. Seeing the wall full of bookshelves, he smiled slightly. I did not expect this fox to love learning. Then he noticed a folder on the desk labeled Hengxing Group. Driven by curiosity, he mischievously opened it to take a look. Backquote, backquote, backquote. Suddenly, I noticed that the signature on the chairman's column of these documents was all signed by Luo Linyuan. I could not help but frown. Could it be that Luo Fox is the chairman of Hengxing Media? Then he would be my boss. We really are destined to meet on a narrow path. Then Si Jin flipped through the documents again and saw a notice about the company's dismissal of Sister Ma. Instantly, she felt warm inside. She did not expect Luo Fox to actually fire Sister Ma. It seems he is not just a pretty face. When he put down the folder contentedly, he noticed a book spread out on the desk. The page prominently read 999 Ways to Make a Child Happy. Method 238, Cook a sumptuous dinner to show your mature man's charm. Si Jin thought of Luo Linyuan's eagerness to cook tonight. He held back until he could not help but laugh out loud. So Luo Linyuan cooked this meal after reading a guide to make me happy. I am going to die laughing. Who still learns how to woo a wife from a book these days? Just as he was laughing so hard his stomach hurt, he heard Luo Linyuan's voice from downstairs. Jin Jin, the meal is ready. Come down and serve the dishes. So Si Jin went downstairs and leaned against the kitchen door, teasing, Uncle Luo, you prepared such a careful dinner for me to show your mature man's charm, did not you? Then Si Jin walked behind Luo Linyuan, bit his ear lightly, and said softly, actually, Uncle, you do not need to do all this. You are already very charming. Luo Linyuan did not expect the book he studied about children to be discovered by Si Jin. His face quickly turned red. He awkwardly pushed Si Jin away from behind, saying, stop messing around and go eat. As he spoke, he pinched Si Jin's jade-like buttocks. When they sat at the dining table, Si Jin noticed there were drinks on the table. Si Jin, who could not resist sweets, picked up the cup and drank the drink in one gulp. Luo Linyuan did not urge him to eat but instead told Si Jin to drink more if he liked it. Then, very dotingly, he kept pouring him drink after drink. Luo Linyuan kept pouring, and Si Jin kept drinking. In this back and forth, Si Jin did not eat much. During the back and forth, Si barely ate anything but unknowingly drank an entire bucket of the beverage. By the end of the meal, Si felt dizzy. It was then that he began to suspect Luo Linyuan. This old fox specifically made dinner for me but did not urge me to eat, instead encouraging me to drink. Although the drink was really delicious, why does it feel a bit intoxicating? At this point, Si Jin could no longer sit steadily in his chair, his body swaying unsteadily. Worried that he might fall, Luo Linyuan held Si Jin in his arms. Jin Jin, are you sleepy? Let me carry you back to your room. But as soon as Luo Linyuan placed Si on the bed, Si Jin stubbornly grabbed onto Luo the fox's sleeve. He refused to lie down and clung persistently to Luo Linyuan's clothes, refusing to let go no matter what. As expected, with a loud pop, two buttons on Luo Linyuan's shirt burst open, revealing a large expanse of his chest. But the drunken troublemaker had no idea he was playing with fire. Not only did he not stop, but he even reached out a finger to trace circles on the other's chest. Uncle Luo, you are so good looking. I really want to. Looking at the flushed Si Jin in front of him, Luo Linyuan felt his blood rush. This kid is so adorable when drunk, truly irresistible. Luo Linyuan took a deep breath, grabbed Si Jin's mischievous hand, then leaned down to kiss his eyes, softly comforting him. Jin Jin, be good. Let us take a bath first. But Si Jin pouted, tightly wrapping his arms around Luo Linyuan's neck. No, you are just a fox, always coming up with excuses to trick me. Luo Linyuan had no choice but to continue coaxing him. He gently patted Si Jin's hand. I am not tricking you. Let us go to the bathroom first, and then we can kiss, okay? However, Si Jin shook his head and refused. I am not going. His refusal was clearly stubborn, but the slight raspiness in his voice from being drunk made it sound like he was being coquettish. Hearing this, Luo Linyuan could not help but lean down to kiss Si Jin's forehead. Then I will carry you there. With that, he scooped Si Jin up in his arms and strode toward the bathroom. The hot water poured down on them, and in no time, the temperature in the bathroom began to rise rapidly. Luo Linyuan grabbed Si Jin's mischievous hand, pinning him against the bathroom wall. The steamy air and rising temperature, and Si Jin's alluring appearance made it hard for Luo Linyuan to hold back. He lowered his head and kissed Si Jin's collarbone. Looking at the dazed and entranced person in his arms, Luo Linyuan said tenderly, Jinjin, I really like you so much. The boy had intended to take control for once, but instead, he was once again completely overpowered by this cunning fox. The next morning, Si Jin woke up tormented by unbearable soreness. He struggled to sit up in bed. As he carefully recalled the events of the previous night, it seemed Luo Linyuan had once again tricked him by passing off alcohol as a soft drink. Once more, he had been overpowered without realizing it. Fragments of last night's events flashed through Si Jin's mind like a slideshow. After piecing together the sequence of events, Si Jin was filled with regret. Blushing furiously, he buried his face into the bed and cursed loudly, damn it. This is killing me, I am a dignified celestial being. And yet, I got drunk and taken advantage of by that cunning fox again. How could I be stupid enough to fall for the same trick twice? Just then, the door to the room opened from the outside. Luo Linyuan walked in carrying a tray, but to Si Jin, he looked like a smug scoundrel with a deceptively gentle smile, making him want to punch him. Luo Linyuan, ignoring the fury in Si Jin's eyes, spoke nonchalantly, I made you some hangover soup and porridge. This time, I did not leave, so no roses as an apology. Do you like it? Si Jin turned his head away, refusing to look at him. You tricked me again. I do not like it. You are just as troublesome as the alcohol. Hearing this, Luo Linyuan put down the hangover soup, the corners of his lips slightly curved. Jinjin really does not like it, but did not you quite like uncle last night? Before Luo Linyuan could finish, Si Jin hurriedly covered his mouth. Hey, shut up. Do you believe I will strangle you and pluck your fox fur? Looking at the child in front of him, Luo Linyuan found him increasingly endearing. Although teasing him into anger was truly adorable, it was not fun if he really got mad. So, he immediately softened and pretended to be obedient. Alright, I will shut up. He then added regretfully, it is just a pity about this hangover soup and porridge. They are both quite sweet and won't cause cavities. Sweet food was practically Si Jin's weakness. When he saw the sweet soup in the bowl, his eyes lit up instantly. Taking the bowl from Luo Linyuan's hands, he gulped down the sweet soup in one go. After eating something, his body indeed felt much better. He then used his spiritual sense to block his pain receptors, and got out of bed. Watching Si Jin, who seemed to recover instantly and showed no signs of pain, Luo Linyuan was left speechless. This kid had fainted last night, yet now he acted as if nothing had happened. It seemed he was truly getting old. At this moment, Si Jin turned back to bid farewell to Luo Linyuan. Uncle, I have some matters to attend to. That is it for today. Goodbye, uncle. Seeing Si Jin about to leave, Luo Linyuan quickly reached out to stop him. Jinjin, you do not have a manager yet, right? Why not consider me? But Si Jin smiled and broke free from Luo Linyuan's grasp. Uncle, you should know, if I had not entered your study yesterday and flipped through the documents on your desk, I would not understand a word of what you are saying now. Luo Linyuan merely chuckled. But with your personality, there is no way you would not have snooped. Hearing this, Si Jin frowned. Alright, you can even guess what book someone flipped through in your study. Truly a sly fox. After a moment of silence, Si Jin opened the door and prepared to leave. I do not have plans to find a manager for now. If you happen to show up when I am looking for one, I will sign with you. With that, he closed the door and left. Luo Linyuan was left sitting on the bed, frozen like a stone longing for his wife. After a while, the longing stone moved, stood up, and his beautiful fox-like eyes narrowed slightly. Looking in the direction Si Jin had left, he murmured softly, Jinjin, I believe you will come to me to be your manager very soon. After leaving the Luo family estate, Si Jin drove onto the road. Xiao Mo asked, Sir, where are we heading next? Si Jin's expression turned sharp, and he smirked slightly. To the Bai family to celebrate my brother Bai Si Chen's birthday. Today is his big day, his 35th birthday. As Si Jin drove, he recalled the original owner's background. The original owner's mother was an elderly mother who tragically passed away from excessive bleeding during childbirth when giving birth to Bai Si Jin. His father, however, did not grieve for long and soon brought Bai Si Chen's mother, Wu Ting, and Bai Si Chen into the house. He even lied to him, claiming Wu Ting was his biological mother and Bai Si Chen his biological brother. As a child, Bai Si Jin wholeheartedly treated Bai Si Chen and Wu Ting well. But that mother and son duo never accepted him. They tried every possible way to keep him out of the company, prevent him from studying economics in college, and instead sent him to a film academy under the guise of doing it for his own good. In reality, they feared he would compete for the family inheritance if he joined the company. Later, Bai Si Chen discovered Bai Si Jin's sexual orientation and sent Chao Shuang to his side to force Bai Si Jin to sever ties with the Bai family. This way, Bai Si Chen could monopolize the inheritance and enjoy it all for himself. However, Bai Si Chen and Wu Ting were unaware that the villa they currently lived in was actually under the name of Bai Si Jin's biological mother. It was her personal property, and Bai Si Jin now had legal inheritance rights to it. After recalling these basic details, Si Jin asked Xiao Mo, aside from the matter of the house, are there any other flaws in this storyline? Xiao Mo immediately began reviewing the dimensional information, carefully examining it with a magnifying glass for a long time. I found something. Bai Si Chen's company has evaded taxes totaling 480 million yuan, which exceeds 30% of the company's total revenue. This is punishable by 3 to 7 years of imprisonment and fines. Upon hearing this, Si Jin's lips curled into a smirk. Alright, send me a copy of the tax evasion documents to my phone. After glancing briefly at the documents, his beautiful almond-shaped eyes curved slightly, and a storm of schemes began brewing in his gaze. Big CEO, today, not only will I make sure he loses his home, but I will also ensure he rots in prison. On the way to the Bai family estate, Si Jin made a detour to a funeral supplies store. He got out of the car and bought 2 baskets of chrysanthemums, placing them back in the car before continuing toward his own home. Xiao Mo tilted his head in confusion. Sir, why are you buying chrysanthemums for a birthday celebration? Si Jin chuckled lightly. Of course, it is for their gift. When he arrived at the parking lot in the backyard of his villa, he suddenly noticed a familiar figure in the car ahead. He immediately let out a soft laugh. Then, he floored the gas pedal and sharply turned the steering wheel, executing a perfect drift to park the car neatly in the spot. In the car ahead, Su Mingjia was shocked by this maneuver. Are you kidding me? How could you park here? He angrily got out of his car and impatiently tapped on Si Jin's window. Didn't you see I was reversing? Why are you snatching my parking spot? Si Jin rolled down her window and gave Su Mingjia a sweet smile. What a coincidence, I am snatching your spot. Seeing the nightmare-like face, Su Mingjia involuntarily took 2 steps back. Si Jin found his fear amusing and then picked up 2 baskets of chrysanthemums from the passenger seat and got out of the car. She then held 1 basket of chrysanthemums in front of Su Mingjia. Second sister-in-law, this is a gift I prepared for my brother. Would you like one? But Su Mingjia cautiously pushed the basket away. Don't get involved. It is someone's birthday and you are giving chrysanthemums. Si Jin smiled and retorted, second sister-in-law personally came to cause trouble, so why can't I give chrysanthemums? Su Mingjia stood there, his face turning from blue to purple. Clearly, Bai Sikin had told him that his wife Lu Yingying was seriously ill and could not attend the birthday party, which was why he came. Bai Sikin even promised me that as soon as Lu Yingying passes away, he would marry me immediately. Why can't I come early to get used to the environment? After saying this, Su Mingjia ran off to report to Bai Sikin. Watching Su Mingji's angry back, Si Jin's lips curled slightly. Looks like there is going to be a good show today. When Si Jin walked into the yard, she saw Su Mingjia holding Bai Sikin's arm at the door from afar. Bai Sikin immediately shouted angrily at Tong Jin, "What are you doing here?" Seeing this, Su Mingjia secretly laughed to himself. Si Jin, are not you arrogant? Let us see if you can even enter your own house today. But the smile in Tong Jin's eyes grew even brighter. He walked over and handed the 2 baskets of chrysanthemums to Bai Sikin. Brother, I heard receiving chrysanthemums on your birthday shortens your life. I specially picked a basket of yellow chrysanthemums and a basket of white ones for you. Do you like them? Seeing Si Jin so arrogant, Bai Sikin forcefully slapped Si Jin's hand away, and the 2 baskets of chrysanthemums fell to the ground. Then, still not satisfied, he stomped on them a few times. The angrier Bai Sikin got, the more excited Si Jin became. He laughed exaggeratedly. I heard that stomping chrysanthemums doubles the shortening of life. It seems brother really likes my gift. ZC was so furious that he was grinding his teeth. Xiao Yao, seeing Si Jin gradually going mad, quickly handed over a lollipop, trembling. Sir, please calm down. Seeing that he had achieved the desired effect, Si Jin stopped his antics. He put the lollipop in his mouth and headed into the house. Brother, keep stepping on me, I will go in first. Seeing Si Jin's disdainful expression, Bai Si was furious. He grabbed Si Jin's shoulder. ZC, get out of my house. Si Jin smiled, turned around, and showed the property certificate on his phone. Brother, this is my house. It is my mother's personal property. Shouldn't you be the one leaving? Z-Sis action suddenly halted, staring at Si Jin's phone screen, grinding his teeth in anger. How is this possible? Isn't this house Dad's? How did it become Z-Sis? Then Si Jin pulled up some evidence of his tax evasion. And this, brother, you would not want this to be exposed now, would you? ZC was shocked to the core, reaching out to grab Si Jin's phone, but Si Jin easily dodged with a slight turn. He put away his phone, pouting in displeasure. Brother, do not grab. You know I have a childish temper. If you kick me out, I might just turn around and bring the police to arrest you. ZC was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat, his breathing unsteady. These documents were highly encrypted and stored on his private computer, inaccessible even to many company executives. He grabbed Si Jin's collar and asked, "How did you find these?" Si Jin casually shrugged. "If you want to find them, you find them. It is not that complicated." But Si Jin's nonchalance only made ZC more terrified. Those were files he spent 4 million to have, encrypted by top hackers. Then Si Jin pushed him away. "Brother, I am going inside first. For the sake of our brotherhood, I will let you finish the banquet here, and then I will have someone come to collect it." With that, he turned and went inside, coldly laughing as he walked. "What are these little surprises? There is an even bigger surprise waiting for you, my dear brother." Watching Bai Si standing there in a daze, Su Mingja quickly and considerately stepped forward to help him calm down. "Chen, what is wrong?" ZC immediately grabbed Su Mingji's hand. "Mingja, do me a favor. Find a way to get some drugs. I need to delete the stuff on his phone. If it gets exposed, I am finished." Soon, Su Mingja brought the medicine. Although Bai Sicheng was his support and he had to save him, this was illegal after all, so he needed a backup plan. Before returning, he took a few photos of the medicine bottle. As long as he had Bai Sicheng's leverage in hand, if he ever dared to leave me for another lover, I would have bargaining power to negotiate with him. The handsome director originally intended to help his child make a comeback, but unexpectedly drew others' jealousy. This led to Si Jin being slandered and rumored against, and Luo Linyuan worried that Si Jin might be wronged. Despite the risk of being spotted by paparazzi, he came to check on Si Jin. Seeing Luo Linyuan dressed like a robber at the door, Si Jin's worries vanished instantly. He tugged on Luo's belt and pulled him inside. It was unclear whether Director Luo was planning to rob money, or steal hearts. Hearing this, Luo Linyuan removed his sunglasses, revealing his slender, beautiful fox-like eyes, and approached Si Jin with ill intent. Since Jin said so, why not steal some hearts today? Si Jin was then cornered by Luo Linyuan, retreating step by step until he was finally pushed onto the sofa. Seeing he had nowhere left to retreat, Si Jin simply stopped dodging. He placed his hand on Luo Linyuan's neck. "Well, since uncle has come to steal personally, what can I do?" Luo Linyuan saw Si Jin was still in the mood to joke. Luo Linyuan saw Si Jin still had the mood to joke around, which made him feel even more heartbroken. He gently tapped Si Jin's nose. "I know my little one must have been wronged. I am here to see if you have been crying." Si Jin teased disdainfully, "Didn't you say you like seeing me cry? You even said I look especially beautiful with tears in my eyes." Luo Linyuan replied sincerely, "I only like seeing you cry in bed, not because of other things, especially not being bullied by others. Before I came, I already handed the Entertainment Star headlines. Case to the lawyer. We will go to court tomorrow. Don't worry, I won't let you be wronged. This role is my treasures, earned by talent. No one else can tarnish it." Hearing this, Si Jin blinked. "Then how dare you come to my house at such a critical time?" Luo Linyuan lowered his head and lightly kissed Si Jin's ear. "I came precisely at this time because I know you need me when you are upset. Besides, do not you think this sneaky feeling is more thrilling?" The tingling sensation instantly spread from Si Jin's ear, piercing to the core, causing him to shiver slightly. The muffled sound reached Luo Linyuan's ears, and he could not help but tease Si Jin. "Is that all? Weren't you quite impressive in the changing room last time? You do not seem like you are acting like my husband now." Luo Linyuan's words were full of temptation to Si Jin, so Si Jin fiercely bit Luo Linyuan's finger. Immediately, the taste of blood spread between his lips and teeth. The taste of blood stunned Si Jin, and his heart was also shaken. This reminded him of the time he was severely injured in the exploding sky realm. At that time, his heart meridian was damaged, and he limped through the fire-lit ruins, looking for a dignified place to end himself. But just as he was about to fade away, a deity appeared beside him. The deity offered to sign a blood pact with him, allowing them to share life. As long as Si Jin drank his blood, he could survive. Although he still does not know who that deity is, Si Jin has always remembered the taste of that blood. He never expected that his savior would turn out to be Luo Linyuan. Si Jin immediately let out a sigh of relief, and the fierceness in his eyes completely faded, replaced by tenderness. He quickly fetched the first aid kit and began carefully cleaning and bandaging Luo Linyuan's wounds, his movements as gentle as if he were handling something precious. The two of them looked as if they were enjoying a moment of serene tranquility. But Luo Linyuan, watching the unusually emotional Si Jin in front of him, could not help but chuckle. "How strange, I am the one who is injured, yet he looks like he has lost his soul." After fully bandaging the wounds, Si Jin gently held Luo Linyuan's hand for a while, comforting him. His heart was filled with joy, so his savior had always been by his side. After sitting for a bit longer, Si Jin stood up and pointed to the computer screen on the coffee table. Watch the show first. I will go make you something to eat. Although Luo Linyuan could not understand why this kid was suddenly acting so strangely, he still nodded indulgently. Then he asked, do you have grilled fish? Si Jin was instantly at a loss. He remembered that the grilled fish had been thrown into the trash as soon as he found out Luo Linyuan was the other male lead. Awkwardly twisting his fingers, he stammered, well, I think stir-fried bean sprouts are actually pretty tasty too. Luo Linyuan noticed the unnatural expression on Si Jin's face and smiled as he questioned him. Did you throw away the grilled fish meant for me? Feeling exposed, Si Jin immediately bristled. A fox is truly a fox, always so perceptive. But he stubbornly denied it, claiming he had not thrown it away and that he simply had not bought fish today. Suddenly, Luo Linyuan narrowed his eyes and gave Si Jin a meaningful smile. It is fine. Since you did not buy fish today, I will just settle for something else tonight. Hearing this, Si Jin could not help but frown. He quickly supported his waist with his hand, as Luo Linyuan's words gave him a bad feeling. Before Si Jin could react, Luo Linyuan swiftly pulled him into his arms. No one knows Si Jin better than Luo Linyuan. Now, whenever Si Jin makes a move, Luo Linyuan knows exactly what he is up to. So, after learning that Si Jin does not get along with his brother, Si Chen, he publicly announced that he would invite Si Jin to star in his new script, completely blocking Si Chen's attempt to push someone into his circle. After speaking, Luo Linyuan winked at Si Jin, as if asking how he did. Si Jin responded with a wink as well. Uncle, you did well, praise. Luo Linyuan felt very pleased with Si Jin's response. He then put on a professional demeanor and handed Si Jin a business card. Mr. Si, this is my card. I would like you to audition for Yu Liang in 2 weeks. The location is my office at Hengxing Media. Si Jin wanted to refuse, so he did not reach out. Director Luo, I remember telling you that if you happen to appear when I am looking for an agent. But before Si Jin could finish, his aunt quickly took the card. Alright, I will keep it for Jin. We will definitely go for the audition. Seeing the card taken away, Luo Linyuan's lips curved slightly. Then, Mr. Bai, I will be waiting for good news. After Luo Linyuan left, Si Jin's aunt started swooning. Jin, he is so handsome. He is a top director in the entertainment industry. I have had my eye on him for a long time. When you go for the audition, can you get his contact info for me? Seeing Luo Linyuan's appeal to both genders, Si Jin got annoyed and coldly took the card from his aunt's hand. Aunt, not to mention he is 30 and you are over 40. Even if age was not an issue, he would not be interested in women. Si Jin thought his aunt had given up and turned to leave, but she turned the tables on him. But he is indeed the most powerful director in the industry. The resources he can offer you are ones I can't. Si Jin, do not hesitate, just go to him. If you two hit it off, it is a good thing for you. His aunt's voice was so penetrating that Si Jin's head was still buzzing as he walked out of the living room. Books do not deceive me. The 7 aunts and 8 uncles of the mortal world are truly terrifying. He then went to the backyard to get some fresh air and maybe find fault with Luo Linyuan. This dog of a man can't win me over, so he starts by trying to win over those around me. Luo Fox, you deliberately gave your business card to my aunt, did not you? And Luo Linyuan went straight to it. I know you would not accept it, so I gave it to someone else. Upon hearing this, Si Jin was instantly furious. The most convoluted path I have walked in my life is your scheme. You are such a cunning man. But Luo Linyuan put on a serious expression, grabbed Si Jin's hand, and said, the matter of you terminating your contract with Sister Ma caused quite a stir online. Your fans are calling for you. You need a new agent and a new project to make a comeback. What do you think? Welcome to audition for my Mr. Self. Si Jin blushed at his words. But uncle, you have already made me your unspoken rule. Do I still need to audition? Luo Linyuan leaned close to Si Jin's ear. We have to go through the process, right? Anyway, you are the predetermined choice. But Si Jin quickly realized this charming fox was poison and gently pushed him away. I have other things to attend to these days. I will be leaving now. See you in 2 weeks, uncle. After saying that, she turned to make a phone call, leaving Luo Linyuan standing there alone, stunned. He watched Si Jin's back and chuckled lightly. This little rascal really leaves as soon as she says, so heartless. At this moment, Si Jin dialed the report hotline. She wanted to report Bai Si Chen, the president of Z Corporation, for tax evasion and fraud. The amount was huge and constituted a crime, and she requested an email to send the evidence. A few days later, after the evidence was verified, the police dispatched officers to arrest Bai Si Chen. Because Lu's father had been heavy-handed at the banquet, Bai was hospitalized when arrested. For the first time in his 30-plus years, Bai Si-chen saw so many police officers and was shocked. Tax evasion and fraud. Do you have evidence? Why are you arresting me? Did Bai Tong-jin report me? He is framing me. But the police, who had verified the truth, did not bother to argue with him. They directly handcuffed him. Mr. Bai, we have the right to protect the privacy of the informant. You should come with us. Facing a pile of complete evidence on the interrogation table, Bai Si-chen was unable to defend himself. But he could not just sit and wait for doom, so he requested to see a lawyer and applied for a public arbitration in court. But with such a huge amount of tax evasion and fraud, no one could exonerate him. In the end, he compensated 10 times the amount and received a 5-year prison sentence, with a 2-year suspended execution. On the day he left the court, he received a divorce agreement from Lu's father's lawyer. Due to his infidelity during the marriage, the custody of the child went to the Lu family. Therefore, he not only could not split the family assets but also had to pay additional child support. After signing the agreement, Bai Si-chung looked at his remaining balance of just a few million and slammed the coffee table. Wu Ting did not understand why the house turned out this way after her trip, but seeing Bai Si-chung so dejected, she brought over a bowl of chicken soup, urging him to drink some and not ruin his health. With his fist clenched, Si-chung regretted not dealing with Bai Si-jun sooner. In just a few days, he was left with nothing. But seeing his son defeated, Wu Ting not only could not help but added insult to injury, reminding him that he was still on probation and could not do anything illegal. Si-chung, finally unable to bear it, kicked over the coffee table. Am I supposed to just accept defeat and let that useless Bai Si-jun manipulate me? But when it rains, it pours. At that moment, Si-chung's secretary called, saying Bai Si-jun held a board meeting at the company today and might replace Si-chung to take over the company. The boy, determined to ruin his brother's reputation, not only sent him a sewing machine package, but also bribed the secretary to spread false news about him competing for the company today. This call undoubtedly added fuel to Si-chung's fire, and he angrily cursed Bai Si-jun for overstepping his bounds. His voice was so loud it made the secretary's head buzz. The secretary immediately held the phone a bit farther away. Anyway, the board meeting would start in half an hour, and rumors about your imprisonment have been rampant in the company these days. I suspect Si-jun might use your criminal record to push you out of the chairman's position. You should come and see for yourself. After hanging up, Bai Si-chung quickly grabbed his suit and rushed out, telling Wu Ting without looking back, Bai Si-jun is causing trouble at the company. He wants to push me out of the chairman's position. I can't sit idly by. Seeing this, Wu Ting hurriedly said she would go too. She knew those old shareholders and they would give her some face. Didn't President Wang from Nane want to sell you a piece of land before? Just say you are planning to invest in that land to build a resort. These old-timers won't be able to resist the temptation of profit. You can make them money, but Si-jun can't. Then the chairman's position will still be yours. Si-chung nodded at this, thinking any plan is better than none. He then took Wu Ting and sped all the way to the company. Upon arrival, Bai Si-chung slammed open the conference room door, seeing Si-jun just about to speak. Furious, he ignored what the shareholders were discussing and shouted, "Uncles and elders, do not listen to Bai Si-jun's nonsense. I am on probation for 2 years now. If I behave well during these 2 years, I won't have to go to prison." Hearing this, Si-jun stopped speaking and turned to sit in the deputy seat. With a look of amusement, he watched Bai Si-chung. Bai Si-chung panicked when he saw Si-jun not sitting in his main seat. Wasn't today's meeting supposed to oust me? Coming to his senses, he weakly asked, "What were you all just talking about?" At this moment, a hot-tempered shareholder spoke up first. Si-jun just wants to join the company as a vice president. Why are you so nervous? You even exposed your own state affairs. Bai Si-chung broke into a cold sweat upon hearing this. Bai Si-jun had not said anything, and he feared he had been played again. Seeing Bai Si-chung's dazed expression, Si-jun felt secretly pleased. It was my brother who said it himself, can't blame me. At this moment, a shareholder took the lead and said, since Si-chung is a convicted person, how can he lead the company? I think Si-jun should not just be vice president but directly become president. Other shareholders also chimed in, agreeing for Si-jun to take over the company. Bai Si-chung was heartbroken at the sight, holding his head and crying out, "Really, everyone, you believe whatever Si-jun tells you, can't you think for yourselves?" Even Si-chung's own uncle could not bear to watch anymore, doubting Bai Si-chung's intelligence. "Si-chung, let me interrupt. Tell us, it was not Si-jun who was convicted, it was you. Si-jun only wants a vice president position," nothing else was said. Once again stabbed, Bai Si-chung was dumbfounded. He stood helplessly at the head of the conference table, his ears buzzing. The fact about the conviction was actually revealed by himself. Wu Ting arrived shortly after, hurriedly supporting her dazed son to sit down, saying to him, "Son, do not worry, Mom is here to help you." Wu Ting stepped forward and knelt before the shareholders, pleading for them to give Sicheng another chance, to jointly finance and support his new development project in Hainan, promising to bring benefits to everyone. Many shareholders were her old acquaintances and could not bear to see Wu Ting like this, so they agreed to finance the Hainan project, giving Bai Sicheng one last chance. After the meeting, Wu Ting sat back in her chair, exhausted. If looks could kill, Sijin might have been cut into pieces by Wu Ting's gaze. Bai Sijin, just you wait. We will definitely profit from the Hainan land. As long as I am alive, you will never sit in the chairman's position. Sijin just smiled, indifferent to Wu Ting's harsh words. Oh really, then I will be watching. To regain the trust of the shareholders, Bai Sicheng devoted himself entirely to the Hainan project, raising funds and investing with great care, not daring to delay for a moment. He was waiting for the Hainan land to yield great profits so he could reclaim the shares from Bai Sijin and drive him out of the company. However, on the third morning of the project's preparation, he received a call from a debt collection company. The Hainan land had a huge debt, and previously a half-finished building collapsed, killing more than a dozen workers. The former owner, fearing responsibility, had already fled with the money. No one has ever dared to buy this land. Now that he has, the workers' injury compensation and the unpaid construction fees for the abandoned building naturally fall on him. Upon hearing that the total amount for the workers' injury compensation and the unpaid fees is 140 million, Si Chen broke down again and cried silently. He simply can't afford 140 million, especially considering the investment he has already made in this land. It was not just his entire fortune, but also the shareholders' money. If it all went down the drain, he would truly be finished. Wu Ting, returning from grocery shopping, was startled to see her son in utter despair. Wasn't everything back on track? What happened now? Bai Sicheng leaned into Wu Ting's arms like a child in his 30s. Mom, there is a problem with that land in Hainan. If we buy it, we will have to bear a 140 million yuan penalty. We are done for. Hearing this news, Wu Ting was struck as if by lightning and almost fainted. At that moment, Si Jin appeared uninvited. Aunt Wu, I saw your door was open, so I came right in. How are you all doing? Seeing Si Jin's gloating expression, Bai Sicheng suddenly jumped up from the sofa. Bai Si Jin, this must be your doing. You are the one who tampered with the Hainan land. Or not you. Si Jin, however, shrugged mockingly. Big brother, as the president of a conglomerate, how could you be so naive? That land in Hainan had issues 5 years ago. How could it possibly be me? Hearing this, Wu Ting became even angrier. Bai Si Jin, why are you here at our house now, to laugh at us? Si Jin simply smiled. I am here to show you a way out. I have the whereabouts of Mr. Wang, the man who sold you the land. I can hand him over to the court to clear your name. All you need to do is transfer all your shares in the company to me and leave Bai Group for good. I will help you through this crisis. What do you think of this deal? Without a second thought, Bai Sicheng immediately rejected Si Jin's offer. All the shares, how could he even ask for that? Such a demand was pure fantasy. But whether they agreed or not made no difference to Si Jin. He casually remarked, but brother, do you have any other choice besides agreeing to my terms? Bai Sicheng, for the sake of his career, wanted to trade the shares to save face. But Wu Ting was only concerned about the family fortune and cared nothing for Bai Sicheng's well-being. The two of them began to argue. Si Jin, unable to stand it, got up and left. How you two argue is none of my business. I just came to let you know that I have already informed the company's shareholders about your investment losses. So, will you give me the shares and let me restore your reputation, or will you lose both money and face? The choice is yours. I will give you no more than 1 day to decide. After Si Jin left, the mother and son got into a heated fight, arguing for an entire day and night. In the end, it was decided to hand over the shares to Si Jin to restore Bai Sicheng's reputation in front of the shareholders. After all, the shareholders of the Bai Group are all relatives, and offending them would leave the mother and son with no standing in the Bai family. Once Si Jin received the shares and succeeded as the company's chairman, the first thing he did was to fire Bai Sicheng and Wu Ting, and reclaim all the properties under their names that belonged to the company. However, Si Jin kept his promise to Bai Sicheng. He assisted the police in quickly arresting Mr. Wang and expedited the handling of all company affairs, bringing the company back on track. That day, after Si Jin finished dealing with related matters and was about to take a break, he received a call from Luo Linyuan's personal assistant, reminding him that the audition for Yu Liang would start in 20 minutes and asking him to arrive at Hengxing Media as soon as possible. Only then did Si Jin remember he had forgotten about Luo Linyuan's audition. So, after handing over other documents to his secretary, he left the company. By the time Si Jin drove to Hengxing Media, the office entrance was already crowded with all sorts of young idols, some of whom were so adorably cute. Seeing them dressed so fashionably, Si Jin realized he had underestimated them. What if the old fox thought he was not as good as these fresh young faces? After pondering for a while, Si Jin found the assistant who had called him earlier and said he forgot to bring his audition clothes. Could the assistant take him to change into a set of clothes? Si Jin was an actor specifically instructed by Luo Linyuan, so the assistant dared not neglect him and immediately took him to the VIP fitting room. After the assistant left, Si Jin gently pushed open the fitting room door. But when he looked up, he saw Luo Linyuan in the middle of putting on a shirt. Si Jin could not help but let his gaze wander into the snowy white collar. Seeing that it was Si Jin who opened the door, Luo Linyuan was also startled, his hand paused on the button. Neither of them expected to run into each other here, especially in such an embarrassing situation. But the next second, Si Jin's eyes lit up. He quickly closed the door and then pinned Luo Linyuan against the wall. "Uncle, why did not you lock the door while changing? The outside world is dangerous. You need to be careful." Luo Linyuan only hesitated briefly before quickly regaining his composure. He swiftly finished buttoning his shirt and asked seriously, "I thought you would not come today." Immediately, Si Jin mischievously tugged open his shirt again and leaned close to his ear. "Who said that? Didn't I come here willingly?" Just as he said this, a noise came from outside the fitting room. Clearly, someone had entered the neighboring fitting room to change clothes. Luo Linyuan seemed to recognize the footsteps outside. He immediately cupped Si Jin's face and kissed him, whispering, "Jin Jin, do not make a sound. There is someone outside." But Si Jin would not let go of such a perfect opportunity to tease Luo Linyuan. He lowered his head and gently licked the distinct knuckles of Luo Linyuan's hand. The soft sensation startled Luo Linyuan like a frightened little animal, and he instantly pulled his hand away as if electrocuted. "Jin Jin, stop messing around. That person might be my PhD advisor from university. He is notoriously old-fashioned. If he finds out..." Before he could finish, Si Jin teased him again, making him stifle a groan. Watching Luo Linyuan's cautious demeanor, Si Jin's heart was filled with glee. Seeing such a nervous Luo fox made him want to bully him even more. Without hesitation, Si Jin lowered his head and kissed the hollow of Luo Linyuan's neck. Although Luo Linyuan enjoyed it, he still retained a shred of rationality in his mind. In his panic, he could only coax Si Jin to stop. Feeling teased and uncomfortable but unable to make a sound, he knew that if his advisor discovered him doing something so intimate in the fitting room, he would face utter social death. Si Jin, emboldened by Luo Linyuan's fear of being caught, became even more brazen in his teasing. The more Si Jin provoked him, the more nervous Luo Linyuan became. And the more nervous Luo Linyuan got, the more excited Si Jin felt. After what felt like an eternity, they heard the person in the neighboring fitting room leave, and Si Jin finally stopped. He looked at Luo Linyuan, whose face was slightly flushed, and smugly licked the corner of his lips. "Your advisor left so quickly. How boring." Seeing that the advisor was no longer a concern, Luo Linyuan decisively pinned Si Jin against the door. "I did not expect Jin Jin to enjoy playing so much. I have an audition to attend later, and now my clothes are all wrinkled. How am I supposed to go like this?" But Si Jin playfully touched his chest again. "Doesn't this outfit look great? It makes you seem charmingly unfaithful, uncle." After finishing, Si Jin quickly turned around and left, throwing a flying kiss as he walked away. "I am going next door to change. Director Luo, make sure to choose me later." After Si Jin left, the fitting room suddenly felt empty. Luo Linyuan touched the bite mark Si Jin had left on his chest and chuckled softly. "What a little lunatic." Then, Luo Linyuan adjusted his shirt in front of the mirror for a while, but the wrinkles would not go away. He sighed and decided to go to the audition wearing the wrinkled shirt. Wrinkled or not, as long as the kid is happy. If the kid says I am charmingly unfaithful, then so be it. Meanwhile, Si Jin had finished changing and stepped out. He was wearing a European-style, vintage-designed, dark-colored tailcoat. Luo Linyuan froze in place the moment he saw him. Seeing Luo Linyuan's dazed expression, Si Jin found it amusing. He stepped forward, took Luo Linyuan's hand, and performed a semi-standard hand kiss gesture. "What is wrong, Director Luo? Have you been captivated by my beauty?" The gesture was called semi-standard because Si Jin kissed not the thumb but the palm of Luo Linyuan's hand. After the kiss, he mischievously licked it. The warm, soft sensation quickly traveled through Luo Linyuan's skin to his brain, making him feel a tingling numbness. Instinctively, he withdrew his hand. Seeing Luo Linyuan's reaction, Si Jin laughed even harder. "Director Luo, you have already bent the rules for me, so why be afraid of this? Seems like uncle is not that great after all. How about I serve you tonight?" But Luo Linyuan ignored his teasing and instead took his hand, leading him outside. "We will talk when you stop getting drunk." For now, let us focus on the audition. Si Jin had not expected to be countered like this. He angrily shook off Luo Linyuan's hand. Then if I succeed in the audition, will you let me be on top? Luo Linyuan, however, shook his head cleverly. That is clearly an unfair bet. I won't gamble with you. Why is it unfair? Because from the very beginning, the scales in my heart have been unbalanced. My heart has always leaned toward you, so you are bound to succeed in the audition. What you are saying is nothing more than an obvious trap, and I won't fall for it. Hearing Luo Linyuan's words, Si Jin's heart began to race uncontrollably. Who does not like being favored? He was no exception. At this moment, Luo Linyuan seemed to sense Si Jin's change. A smug smile appeared on his lips as he stepped in front of Si Jin, cupped his face, and gave him a light, fleeting kiss. After a series of combo moves, Si stared at him in shock. Did you say those things on purpose? But Luo Linyuan put away his smile and looked at Si Jin seriously. My kiss was intentional, but the words to Jin were sincere. The cunning director was trying to coax his own child into starring in a dual male lead drama. Taking advantage of the moment while changing clothes in the fitting room, he flirted with him thoroughly. Under Luo Linyuan's sweet words and gentle kisses, Si Jin felt that everything he did was worth it. After the audition started, to avoid suspicion, Luo Linyuan went into the office first, while Si Jin arrived later, ending up at the very end of the line of artists. At this moment, he noticed the person in front of him was Su Mingjia. Si Jin frowned slightly. Xiao Yao, come out and explain. Xiao Yao flipped through the system and said, because last time Su Mingjia caused a scene at the birthday party. Although his reputation was not good, he unexpectedly established a straightforward persona. So instead of being criticized, he gained popularity. 3 days ago, he just finished filming with director Chen's crew and came here for the audition. The role to be chosen this time is a pianist, and Su Mingjia has a level 10 piano skill, making him more competitive compared to other artists. Sure enough, Su Mingjia relied on his superb piano skills to outshine the other cute little ones during the audition. When Su Mingjia turned around and saw Si Jin, he sarcastically mocked, Director Luo, I think there is no need for the last person to audition. He used to be my rival, and I know he can't play the piano at all. Just as Luo Linyuan was about to speak up in reprimand, Si Jin interrupted, who says I can't play the piano. Su Mingjia sneered, young master, do not speak too soon. It might hurt when you get slapped in the face. Piano is not something you can master quickly. Xiao Tian was also anxious. Master, the data shows the original owner really has no piano foundation at all. Why are you falling for his provocation? But Si Jin replied casually, I know the original owner can't play. So now I am going to learn on the spot. At this moment, Luo Linyuan's expression also changed slightly, looking at Si Jin with interest. Because the information he investigated indeed did not show Si Jin could play the piano. He wondered what surprise this little madman would give him this time. Si Jin reached out and pressed the first key of the piano, then slid from left to right to the last key, seriously memorizing the tone of each key. Seeing him slide across the keys, Su Mingjia laughed out loud. Is this what you call playing the piano? Randomly pressing a few keys and calling it playing, this time. Luo Linyuan finally interrupted Su Mingji's mockery with displeasure. Mr. Su, it is basic etiquette not to interrupt others during their performance. Do I need to remind you of this? After being warned, Su Mingjia visibly tensed up and quickly lowered his head to apologize to Luo Linyuan. Immediately after, a melodious piano tune was born under Si Jin's long, fair fingers. The piece progressed from simple to complex, transitioning from beginner to advanced levels, earning constant praise from the judges present. Seeing this, Su Mingjia was stunned on the spot. How was this possible? Bai Sijin clearly did not know how to play the piano. When did he learn, and how did he reach a professional level without me knowing? The piano piece concluded abruptly at its most climactic moment, leaving everyone present momentarily speechless. After a brief silence, Luo Linyuan slammed the table and stood up. Excellent, this is the pianist I have been looking for. Inwardly, he was delighted his choice had indeed proven to be the best. Hearing this, Si Jin turned back with a playful smile and waved goodbye to Su Mingjia. You heard Director Luo, did not you? Take care, second brother's wife, faced with such a huge opportunity for a comeback, Su Mingjia was unwilling to give up. He tried to grab Luo Linyuan's hand. Director Luo, please give me another chance. I can do more than just play the piano. I can also. But Luo Linyuan quickly stepped back to avoid him and coldly replied, take care. When Su Mingjia turned back to look at Si Jin, he saw him chatting happily with Luo Linyuan. A surge of hatred instantly filled his heart. No wonder, Bai Sijin, you got selected. So you sold out your sunflower. All for a role, you went to seduce the director. How disgusting, a sinister glint flashed in Su Mingji's eyes. Fine, you all like playing dirty, do not you? Let us see what happens when this gets exposed. Will you still be able to continue your little games? He went to great lengths to capture a few intimate angles of Luo Linyuan and Si Jin together, intending to stir up public opinion and smear Si Jin. After the audition ended, Si Jin walked alone to the building of Hengxing Media, only to be stopped by a cute boy around 17 or 18 years old. He eagerly asked if the actor selected today was her. When Si Jin turned around, she realized it was one of the young boys who had just been rejected. She immediately became alert, wondering if he was planning to retaliate because he was not chosen. However, after Si Jin confirmed the answer, the boy was overjoyed. His eyes were filled with admiration as he looked at her. That is great, I knew you would get selected. You are amazing, senior, so, can I invite you to have a meal together? Hearing this, Si Jin finally breathed a sigh of relief. Thankfully, he was not here to cause trouble. She then replied that she did not even know his name, so it would not be appropriate to have a meal together. Upon hearing this, the boy's face turned completely red. He admitted that he had been too forward and, in his excitement, forgot to introduce himself. He then hurriedly started fumbling through his tailcoat to find his business card. At the same time, Luo Linyuan, who had just come downstairs, happened to witness this scene. Jealousy surged in his heart as he immediately stopped in his tracks and turned to walk toward them. I want to see who dares to poach someone under my nose. Consumed by jealousy, Luo Linyuan strode directly toward the two of them, determined to see who had the audacity to flirt with his little one. Right in front of him,